What's up guys, T113 here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the new Aragon DF-45 with 31 tritium tubes. Alright guys, so this is the Aragon DF-45 T100. This is the blue mother of pearl dial. And I'm just going to wear gloves because I don't want to get any fingerprints on this watch, at least in the video, so you guys can get the full effect of the beauty of the watch here. Now, at the time of purchase, this thing ran me $250. I don't know how long they're going to have these in stock, but they only have the three colors. They have the white, the blue, and the black dial, although the black actually has all kinds of sort of iridescent colors like most mother of pearl. So if you're into the darker complex colors, then that might be a better option for you. Either way, I'll leave a link in the description. All right, let's check this out here. Very nicely packaged, I have to say, like every order I've ever placed on Aragon. Let's just double check there's no paperwork here. All right, so it comes in a nice little sleeve. And then you've got your very nice sort of, I don't know what you call this, a double wide watch box. Well, the standard Aragon watch box is more like a square, but this is sort of just under double the size. All right, I'm just going to remove my information here, but I will open this for you. You guys can see. Take a look at that. Very nicely padded velvet interior here. The watch is on this side, and your standard manual is on this side. Of course, you can put your extra links and various other things in here if you need to resize the bracelet, or if you like to wear something like this with a NATO strap or something else, you can put that over here when you're not using it. Let's go ahead and take a look at this watch. Oh my goodness, guys, that is gorgeous. I really want you guys to get a close look at that. Look at that. That is a beautiful watch. Now, obviously, I'm wearing an Aragon right now. This is the Virtuoso Swiss movement. This got the ETA 2824 in here, and it's got the flat tritium tubes. This was, I believe, this is a Kickstarter special. So that's this watch, and so I'm very happy with it. You know, you guys know I'm an Aragon fan. So this is a 45 millimeter case. It's got, I believe, the NH35 movement in here. Let me double check that. We'll get this off the pillow real quick. Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, that is the NH35 movement. You can see it's activated now. Screw down crown. I do like the crown guard, honestly. That is one thing that I think is a little bit, as tough as this watch is, it can go down to 3,300 feet and all that. I think this could have been even better with some sort of crown guard, but I do like this here. Now, the one thing that, Wing, if you're listening, I think you could do even better on this. The watch itself is beautiful. The design is beautiful. But give us the option to upgrade to a sapphire crystal. You know, you can still offer this in the standard mineral crystal that this is. This is the K1 mineral crystal. But giving us the option to upgrade to the sapphire if we want to is great, because definitely I prefer sapphire, because I know that as careful as I am, I get forgetful, and then I'll accidentally rub my watch against something, and despite the fact that this watch bracelet is a little bit beat up, the crystal has no scratches on it, not a single scratch. And so that hasn't been my experience in the past with mineral crystal watches. So let's go ahead and pull this off. Wow, guys, look at that. You guys see that? Beautiful. And again, you've got those tritium tubes there, giving you the standard 12, 6, 9, and 3. And that's mainly the reason why they moved the date window down to the 430. I'm not a huge fan of that. I prefer the date window at 3, but being that they wanted to do sort of the symmetrical look of all 4 cardinal directions with the tritium tubes, it's kind of either or. You can't have both. If we look at the back here, we have a standard exhibition case back. Let's go ahead and get this off here. You can see there. So I guess that rotor looks a little bit more than a plain rotor. or maybe it's just that I can see more of it than is normally shown on previous Aragon / Android case backs. But again, I would love to see a decorated rotor on there. If we could get, like, you know, some sort of, you know, the Aragon logo or something on there, that would be awesome. But it is cool. I always like exhibition case back watches. It's just something that is really nice. And people that don't really know much about mechanical or automatic watches, it's really cool to be able to show them. All right, let's take this off. So we have this beautiful bracelet here, just straight brushed, nothing super fancy. Let's take this side off here. And you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here, guys, and I'm gonna say something that might be controversial, but for the most part, I actually prefer pinned bracelets, even though, at least in terms of reliability, even though, you know, screw pin bracelets are generally preferred because, you know, it's easier to adjust and all that stuff. The reality is, once I get a watch, I'm only going to adjust the bracelet once, unless I get really fat or really skinny. And the number of times that I've had one of these screws back out on me is, and this is true of any of them, this isn't just an Aragon thing, this is any screw pin bracelet. Even if I put a little bit of Loctite on there, they eventually back out, and I have to periodically check that the screws are tight. I've never had that issue on a pinned bracelet. And you know what, worst comes to worst, the pins can eventually wear through and fail, but at that point you just replace them preemptively. So as much as it's not as you know, luxurious, I actually prefer the pinned bracelets. Or at least at the very minimum, if I don't prefer them, I don't see them as a downside. So considering, I mean, look at how little play there is in that bracelet. So obviously, you know, with time, you'll probably have some more wear, but there's very little play in that bracelet. And the advantage I've seen with pins also is that, generally speaking, if there is any wear, you can just replace the pins, and it's less, the wear is usually in the pins themselves and less so in the bracelet. But I just want you guys to get a good look at that dial. I mean, the iridescence is out of this world, guys. So let me go ahead and size this up, and then I'll come back and we'll sort of look over the watch a little bit more. We'll talk about the bezel and the dial and all the capabilities of this watch. And I'll try and give you guys a Lume shot as well. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I got the watch sized to my wrist, as you can see here. I like my watches a little loose, so there it is. And just to show you guys, I don't really know what size wrist I have. I have small wrists, so I removed 2 links from both sides, and then I moved the micro adjustment in by 1. So that's pretty much all I had to do to get it sized perfectly for my wrist, just the way I like it. And all right, so let's go over some of the different features of this watch. So obviously, being an NH35, you have your date window there at the 4:30 position. Now, the date is adjustable. You'll want to follow the standard guidelines, which is to keep the watch hands at if the hands are at the bottom half of the dial, you're probably safe for adjusting the date. But if the watch hands are at the top, I think in the case of the NH35, it's between like 9:30 p or 10 o'clock and 3 in the morning or something like that. There's a risk of damaging the movement. So obviously, just keep that in mind. The way I see it is, if the time is so basically if it's like 3 in the morning, you're trying to change the time, or 2 in the morning, just turn the movement and adjust it forward by 1 day by moving the hands forward by 1 day if you're trying to adjust the date. And that should solve the problem. Or, you know, move the time to the bottom half of the dial and then make your adjustment. The bezel here turns 120 clicks, as you can see here, and very smooth movement on here. But you can see there's no counter rotation, there's no flex, there's no play, it's not wobbling around, so it's very tight. So if you're going to actually use this to do any timing, which yeah, that's actually what this is for. Basically you'd set this starting point right here at your minute hand, and then you could use this as a timer. So definitely this is going to be great if you're going to actually use that functionality, because you're not going to get any play, and that's very important for a dive watch. That's something that people don't seem to understand, is that the reason that the bezel only turns in one direction. The reason it's a unidirectional bezel is because you only want the adjustment to decrease the possible time that you have left, not increase. So by only being able to turn counterclockwise, it means that even if it gets accidentally nudged, it can only turn in one direction, shortening the amount of time for your dive instead of increasing it. And so that's a big safety feature here. The other thing we already talked about, crown guard here. So basically gonna protect your crown from impacts. That's nice. Your super luminova, there's most of the lume on this watch by far is almost all tritium. On the dial, it's all tritium, but on your bezel here, you have one super luminova point here. And a unique little add-on for this watch is that there is a super luminova applied spot on the crown as well. Now, let's take a quick look here at the action of the watch here. We'll try winding it. Very smooth. Very smooth, yeah. And if we try and adjust the time here, also very smooth. The action is quite smooth. I'm not getting any grittiness whatsoever. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on. The watch isn't actually moving, so that's a little concerning. Let's see here. 1 second, guys. All right, guys, so I don't know what's going on. Unfortunately, the movement seems to have completely stopped. And despite, messing with the crown, making sure it's seated properly, I can't get it to move again. And it is wound up as well. So I'm going to have to send this back into Aragon. That's disappointing, guys. But the watch itself is incredibly beautiful. You can see the bezel here has sort of a blue anodization or some sort of coating in there that is a subtle match to the dial color, and I really do like that. And I guess, you know what? I'll go ahead and try and get you guys a Lume Shot before I head out here, and then I'll probably give you guys an update video for when I get the watch back. But 1 second. All right, guys, so it's going to be hard for me to get this to show up on camera, but hopefully you guys can see that lume. The numbers are blue, and then the minute and hour hand are green, and then the second hand is orange. So anyway, guys, I'll leave the link in the description. I think this is a fluke. This has never happened to me before with an Aragon watch, so definitely, you've seen my other videos on Aragon watches. This is this is by far a one-off, and their customer service is great, so they'll take care of me. But anyway, guys, if you're interested, the link will be in the description if you want to check it out or if you want to buy it. All right, guys, so I just want to give you guys an update. It's been about a week and a half since the last segment of this video, and I did send in the watch to Aragon to have it fixed. As of filming this video, it is January 2nd, 2021, and I finally received my Aragon DF-45 back. As you can see here, I'm already wearing it, but I just wanted to show you this, that I did send it in for service to get it fixed, and they didn't charge me anything, although unfortunately I didn't get to enjoy this watch for Christmas. But it does in fact function. I've had it on my wrist for about 24 hours now, and I just wanted to let you guys know that they did take care of me. They did make things right. It is unfortunate that I had to wait as long as I did, but they at least corrected the situation. Now, as for accuracy, it's hard to say because I've only had the watch for, 24 hours in a working state. But I will say it seems to be pretty accurate over the last 24 hours. I think it's maybe only lost 10 seconds, 15 seconds, but I'm gonna really have to check my tracking app and do some averaging to really see how accurate this movement is. But so far I'm very happy with it. The lume, I love the lume. The tritium is beautiful at night, and it makes it really easy for me to see in the middle of the night. So anyway, guys, if you liked the video, be sure to give me a like. If you have any questions, comments, or your own experiences with the DF-45 or any Aragon watch, definitely leave that below. And as always, if you want to see more, don't forget to get subscribed.